Hello guys. Hello. Today we're gonna be playing. No. Today we ain't gonna be playing. It's because I just figured out how to do the screen thing. Hey! Like I've achieved so much. Look, I've achieved so much. Today we're gonna be watching freaking Kids Pop. So let's watch. Here we go. There's gonna be. Now let's start my music actually. I'm sorry for the mix-up. My story animated. I wish I knew a DJ billionaire. My lazy parents made me a servant and pride for money. I rebelled after becoming king.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name's Lacey. And my lazy, unemployed parents treated me and my siblings like slaves. They even tried to make me into a child bride at 16.
What?
But now,
Oh no.
I'm a famous theater actress. And my toxic, opportunistic parents are getting nothing but public humiliation. But first things first, shout out and credit to Atia179.
How are you better getting public humiliation for the things that what a camera? Okay, let's just watch.
Today's story is inspired by your title.
Okay.
Remember to post your new title ideas in the comments below. It needs to be an original story, something we haven't done already. Give a like to the ones you would like to see animated. For the most active members who create very popular titles, we will contact you to join a secret server on Discord to offer you behind-the-scenes access. For now, let's jump straight into today's thrilling story. I don't remember my parents ever having a job. Ever since I can remember, they've always been at home, sipping on soda and watching trashy TV shows as they sunk lower and lower into our 20-year-old couch. They live solely on government checks and unemployment benefits. And when they started having kids, they also started cashing in more of those benefits. The problem was, raising and feeding kids was expensive. So to afford more food, they had another kid. And to cover for the expense of the new kid, they had another one. Until eventually, there were 7 of us. Yeah, it was insane.
What?
Considering we lived in a tiny 2-bedroom with barely a yard for a cat. We were very poor. I remember a year when we only ever had instant noodles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I think that's how my siblings and I started gaining weight. Eating nothing but carbs and a ton of artificial food made us all balloon, which was trippy because we were so poor and had barely anything to eat. Yet there we were, 7 pudgy children with cheeks that looked like they were about to pop. I got depressed very early. I envied all those girls in school who had everything. All the new Barbies, pretty dresses, lunch money that they could use to buy food. I was that kid who had to carry my one half-rotten apple from home and plead with the lunch lady for extra helpings because I didn't even have breakfast at home. I got made fun of, too, because my clothes always had some sort of hole in them, and they were always either too small or too big for me. Once the rich girls at school even made a fundraiser for me. They called it the Help Lacey Adams Get Some Actual Clothes and a Tummy Tuck charity drive. They posted posters of my face and drew on some fake comical tears around my eyes. They even attached a picture of our broken-down house just to drive the point home that my family was dirt poor. They had a good laugh about the whole thing, and a lot of the people at school joined in to mock me. I cried for days. I was so ashamed of showing myself that I didn't go to school for a whole week until my dad beat me with his belt for, according to him, wasting my tuition. If you're gonna skip class, then get out of school and work. If you're gonna use our money so you could stay home and get fat. Go and make us some money instead. I was 12 when they pulled me out of school and made me work at some factory. That place
What
was filled with
the heck?
all sorts of people who couldn't get other, more legal jobs. My older brothers and sisters were also there. Anyone who was old enough to learn how to sew in our family was sent there. Everyone except my parents. They stayed at home and binge-watched TV shows all
Lazy whores.
day. We worked 10, maybe 12 hours a day, making fake Supreme shirts and Gucci bags and shoes. All those knockoff clothes and accessories you see at street-side shops
Why? What? No, like why? Why would you do that? That's a scam.
and kiosks or flea market stalls, they come from factories like that. Kids barely older than me, illegal immigrants, former convicts. Those were the types of people who worked there. They were all nice people, though. I remember one Thai
I'm making a
lady would
YouTube
always
video.
bring
Get
enough
out.
food for me and my
YouTube,
siblings
get
to share.
out.
And there was Sam.
Go.
He was a convicted felon. He was
What?
caught robbing a bank.
What happened?
Kids barely older than knockoff clothes and accessories you see at street-side shops and kiosks or flea market stalls. They come from factories like that. Kids barely older than me, illegal immigrants, former convicts. Those were the types of people who worked there. They were all nice people, though. I remember one Thai lady would always bring enough food for me and my siblings to share. And there was Sam. He was a convicted felon. He was caught robbing a bank. But Sam was the sweetest guy you'll ever meet. He would always talk to us during lunch. And he'd give advice to my brothers about how to do certain things that our dad never taught them. To be quite honest, those people in that factory, who people would usually judge and call misfits, they were a more real, more loving family to us than the one we had back home. All my parents did was take every penny of what me and my siblings earned. One day, my parents made me quit that job. I was really sad to go. I even cried over the last bowl of Thai noodles I was ever going to be able to eat. We have a much better plan for you, sweetie. There's a gentleman who's coming to have dinner with us tonight, and he's looking for a wife.
No.
He's prepared to pay a huge sum of money.
No.
Yeah, imagine that, Lacey. You'll be the wife of a millionaire. Soon you'll be living like a princess. And thanks to you, we'll get paid a bunch of money, too. Imagine how much that will help your
Shut
siblings.
up.
Maybe they won't even have to work anymore. But I'm only 16, Mom. Oh, shut up. Who cares? You're old enough. Just
You
think of your
shut up.
siblings. You'll give them a much better life. And you won't even have to lift a finger. All you'll need to do is be a housewife. A housewife? But, Dad, Mom, please. I want to study to be in theater. I can do it, I promise. I'll pay for it even if I have to work another job. Ha 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 ha. An actress? And whoever told you you can be an actress? Have you
told us
looked at
so.
yourself in the mirror? You should listen
You
to
look at
your
yourself,
mom,
lazy bones.
you're just not pretty enough. And you're fat. Actresses
You're
are
fatter,
pretty, sweetheart.
and you're not smart
That's the
enough
whole
to do
point.
anything.
Nobody
'Cause
cares
you-
if you can act or sing. Now go to your room and wear that nice dress I bought for you. Make yourself look nice for your future husband.
Say no.
But that future husband was more like a patient than a dashing prince. He was probably 3 times my dad's age. I could only describe him as a tame version of Voldemort. I have nothing against old people. Most of them are lovely. But not when they're trying to buy me from my parents so they could marry me. My parents made me sign a piece of paper. But I just couldn't do it. I looked at my siblings' faces, but even for them, I couldn't marry that old man. I was only 16. I had dreams. I didn't want to be flown to some desert in the Middle East to be some weird child bride for some oil baron. So I pretended to go to the bathroom, and I ran. I only had the clothes on my back, but I ran away from home. I must have spent a year and a half being homeless. I hitchhiked from city to city, going where I could find random jobs. And on my free time, I would sing. I would go busking at train stations and at parks, until one day, one man approached me, and he offered to buy me dinner. He listened to my story, and with every word I said, his face got sadder and sadder. I actually only wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed your singing. Now, I can't not help you. The man turned out to be a famous Broadway producer, and with his help, I got
I
to
almost said
jumpstart
productor. I didn't know that it was producer. I almost said productor.
my career as a theater actress. He taught me, he introduced me to people, and he made things happen for me. Things only possible in my
What the
wildest
frick?
of dreams.
Shut up.
Before the year was over, I landed my first ever starring role, and our show was a hit. Every producer on Broadway wanted me. Every Hollywood director reached out to me. I had become a star, and the man who helped me didn't even try to make me his girlfriend or wife. He just saw my potential and helped. I became a theater star, and all my dreams came true.
Oh, wait.
I got to buy myself a villa, a nice car. I even got
Got to make yourself a what?
potential and help. I became a theater star, and all my dreams came true. I got to buy myself a villa, a nice car. I even got to sing with my idols in some shows and concerts. I used to only dream about being able to watch them in their shows in person. Now, little boys and girls everywhere dream of sitting on the VIP seats when I sing and act. Billboards with my face on them were everywhere. One thing always bothered me, though, that my siblings were still living a horrible life. So I hired some lawyers and took them away from my parents. They live with me now. My parents also tried to sue me. I don't know where they got a lawyer, but they did. They wanted me to give them money and give my siblings back. But I knew they'd only use them to work for them again. So I released a book. It was a tell-all of my life. An autobiography. In there, I talked about what it was like growing up in that house and how they almost sold me to some old man when I was a teenager. The book blew up. I was invited for interviews in every channel you could think of. They wanted me to talk about my story, and by doing so, I exposed how evil, lazy, and horrible my parents were. They stopped coming after me then. No court was ever going to side with them. In fact, they might just get thrown in jail for everything they did. But I didn't bother suing them back. It was enough that people knew. And it really was, because wherever they went, people recognized them. And they were subjected to public humiliation wherever they went. Their faces were splashed all over the tabloids. My parents don't bother us anymore. And you know what? I did something I'd always dreamed of doing. Those people at the factory who were nice to us, I hired them. They make all my costumes and dresses now. They were kind to me once. Now that my siblings and I had a better life, it was time for us to pay them back for their kindness.
Wow, that was an awesome story, guys. But I'm sorry, I'm making another video after this, so don't worry. I'm sorry about we're gonna end it right here. Peace! Oh, don't forget, like and subscribe if you want to get, what should I say? Like and subscribe if you want to get a shout out. Because I'm gonna shout out anyone here who likes and subscribes. And if you want anyone here to get a shout out, like to their comments. And peace out, y'all.